So I'm in the middle of cleaning out pens here in the barn. The group pens, and Dad was helping me. He was running the barn cleaner. He was actually in the process of dehorning calves with trying out a new system. You see there's duct tape wrapped around their head, but he uses dehorning paste and the duct tapes for protection. So he finished that, and I was cleaning out that pen down there. He started running the barn cleaner out for me. And then he hopped in the skid steer, which I had out here. And then, I heard him working away. And next thing you know, I heard the thing shut off. I was like, oh, well, I don't see it out here. Well, somebody messed up. I suppose I should probably go out there and help him out. So we'll come out here. See if we can get a little closer to the crime scene. I hope we don't get another tractor stuck out here. It's not too terribly wet out here, but I guess it's wet enough where getting there on spot, he's face downhill there. He gets stuck. If it was me that did this, I'd be getting an ass chewing right now. But it's all okay because he did it, so we're good. Alright, so it is Sunday, May 12th. 12th? 21st, May 21st. Here in south central Wisconsin. And I don't know if you guys know where I am right now, but I'm in our calf barn. I've went through this barn before, but I haven't really done a tour or anything in recent years, so we're going to go through and do a quick tour of what this place is. So let's get into it. So this is the barn here. It's our old dairy barn. It's nothing special. It's not the prettiest from the outside. We've had a lot of work done to it though in recent years. The Amish came through, and this wall here used to been way out, but they came through, straightened the barn up, put a new roof on it, and we put a new floor up in the hay mow. It was nothing much. It was just 3/4 inch plywood. But yeah, this is our old dairy barn. Milk house is obviously on the other side of that window there. The cooler, the bulk tank used to sit right there. That's what that patch is there. And then if we go on the other side over here, right here is where the compressor, vacuum pump used to sit, I should say. Not compressor, the vacuum pump sat. There was 3 of them right in a row. That's what sat there. There was a little shack that Grandpa had built there. And then this here is the old silo / what we call feed room. And there's gonna be some guys coming in this hopefully soon jetcrete this thing. We thought about tearing it down and putting up a little commodity bin, but I personally like this old silo. You don't see many of them around, and I think it's cool. It's unique, and it don't leak at all, shockingly. The silo itself used to be up to about, I don't know, probably about 10-15 feet taller, if not more. 20 feet maybe. No, not that tall. 10-15 feet. But it was getting unsafe. The roof was bad, so Grandpa knocked it in and put this corn crib roof on it, which works. It don't leak, like I said. Keeps the feet up good. And then over here we got the first addition that was built onto the barn, which was the first building that Grandpa built, which we call the pole shed. And you can see out here a little better. There is the original barn with the stone foundation, fieldstone foundation. Then you got the barn addition Grandpa put on in later years. So you can see kind of there. And this is as we first walk in the barn here. This is literally the messiest spot in the barn, is right here. And I don't really care for it, but the mess has got to go somewhere, and this is just not really a convenient spot. It just so happens to be here. But there's 3 stanchions here. They used to be. They still are, actually. This is the only intact part of the barn yet. But we got a milk replacer here. We used to put starter grain there, but our calves don't do good on starter. They just don't eat it. And of course, we got some barn line. We can't live without that. But then we swing around here, we got the milk house, which is kind of it's not too bad right now, but that's the wall there we patched up because that's where the bulk tank used to sit. Bulk tank used to come out to right about in here. It used to sit outside like a foot. It was an 800-gallon surge tank. Yeah, it's kind of a mess in here. This sink here, there used to be 2 sinks side by side. I believe that was there. Yeah, there used to be 2 sinks there. And yeah, marketplace is always sat right there. And actually, no, that's false. The cooler for the tank used to be right there. Part of the cooler. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Pressure tank, whatever you want to call it. But then got hot water heater there. That's pretty new, obviously. But there's no remnants of it anymore. But there used to be some materials that was on the wall here. There's some laying around yet. I'll show you. They used to be on over top the bricks and these windows here. These windows were never open. They've only been opened up when we tore the crap out. But the pipeline used to come in there. No, it didn't come in there. What? Something else came in there. It came in there, though. That's where the pipeline came in, because he had a duct every time it came in the barn. And obviously there's a hanger there yet from the pipeline. And it would go over into the bulk tank. And then, you know, there's still some stuff up here for the bulk tank. The cleaning and whatnot. Acid and soap. So, yeah, it's kind of a mess in here right now because, well, it just is. And then obviously out here we have the rest of the barn. And over there we can see the milkers. There's 8 milkers. Know absolutely nothing about them. I personally never milked cows in here. I was too young to milk cows. But I did almost everything else in this barn. Scraped alleys, limed alleys, fed calves, threw out bed and hay, whatever. I've done almost everything else except for milk cows. That's one of the things I've never done is milk cows. So, but I have a lot of memories of this barn. I used to come in here. In the summertime, I was at the farm every day. I didn't live on the farm. I live across the road from the farm, and my dad really didn't do much with the farm except for help do crop work. He didn't do nothing with the cattle, really. So I would help Grandpa feed cattle, and then I would come in here and help him feed cows, and help Grandma do calf chores and whatnot. And then when they're all done milking, I would come through and I would scrape the barn, morning and night. Not all the time, but when I did quite a bit. I got like $3 a day to scrape morning and night. It wasn't much, but I didn't care. But this barn was a 41 cow barn. It was nothing special. Basically where I'm standing right now is where the old section ends, and we work our way into the new section. You can actually see old barn boards there. The whitewash has since fallen off of them. And there used to be 2 big fans. Actually, no. That fan has always been there. There was never a fan there. But over here, there was a big tunnel fan. That's gone, obviously. We don't use it. Too big, too loud. For that. As you can see, right now, we got an air tube running through here for constant flow of ventilation. This tube, I just put up a couple days ago, has 2-inch holes in it. Every, I don't know, foot, whatever it is. And the tube I took down, our winter tube, has 1-inch holes. So there's less airflow, so they're not getting so drafty in the wintertime. And since we're talking about the milking, up here in these little boxes are on each side of the barn are the old pulsators. That's what would basically squeeze your teat on the cow, because there wasn't constant pressure squeezing it. It was like that. Oh, I can't remember what the piece is. It's inside of the milker at the current moment. What that's called. It does that. Inflation. The inflation, that's what would squeeze the inflation that would milk the cow. So that's what that is. As you can see, the stanchions are all tore apart. They've been converted into panels, gates, whatever you want to call them, with the calves. The pipeline has been moved out into the field and was actually been used for draining the one field, and when we would get ponded up in there. But here we got remnants of the air line yet. The vacuum line, I should say. That still runs there. And then we got water line. There used to be drinking cups. You can see where the drinking cups all used to be. Every other cow. Oh, 2 cows shared 1 drinking cup. Each sides are like that. There's the drinking cups are still hanging over there, kinda. I haven't got that far. They're still hanging over here, actually, too. But as you can see, these 2 rails here, this rail and this rail here, used to sit up on the top. Right here, they would clasp on both sides of this post. And then your stanchions would sit right here. They'd be tied to the bottom, and then be tied to the top. And all the stanchions were connected together. There's just a big rail in there, pretty much. And there's a big lever at the end. You'd lift the lever up, and it would open all the stanchions. And you pull it down, and shut all the stanchions. So that was pretty slick. There's double locks on every stanchion though, because, you know, things are wore out and you had crazy heifers, it would break them open. Speaking of a crazy heifer, there's a fat one right there. Anyhow, and these are the windows here. They're nothing special. In the wintertime, they get boarded up with these boards here. And you can see in this barn, there's 3 hay chutes along the alleyway here. Because right above me used to be hay storage before that barn fell. But since the barn fell, we don't have storage up there no more. It's just attic. But this used to be a bustling place. Grandma, Grandpa, well, when I was a kid, they used to milk about 55, 60 cows in here. So they would milk all 41. And then they would turn like 20 out, however many cows they had to switch out for, and bring the rest in and milk them. And that was that. And then they would get turned out to pasture, which we'll walk over there. Which the pasture is up there. You can see it's greening up a little bit. And plus, before Uncle Ben built his house, they had the woods up there too. 5 acres of woods and 5 acres of open pasture. And then this was the cow yard out here. And this is the east side of the barn. And then of course you got the calf barn over there, which is where the calves used to be housed, which will go on there next, which it didn't work out. It was a good concept, but it didn't work. There's no ventilation in there. So it was a death trap. But we'll go on there next. Now while I'm walking over to the calf barn quick, I want to talk about why I love this barn so much. You see that there? Not that particular, but up there. That's called the hay mound. All of your feed and your bedding is stored up there. Unless like us, we have the feed room over there. But everything is stored inside. You don't have to go outside to grab feed or anything. Which, in my mind, is perfect for calves. You're inside, you're undercover all the time. So that's why I love this barn. It's so easy to maintain. And then in here is what we call the death trap, the calf barn. So all the bottle calves would get chained up along the wall here. You can see the chains still sitting there. None of this. That little feeder was there, but the feed cart was obviously in the feed room. That headlock wasn't there. None of this was here. The bedding pile probably was. And then, of course, we got the old fridge. It used to have medications in it. Don't really have a use for it now. And then there's the bedding chute from up in the main barn. But yes, like I said, all the calves, all the calves, Grandpa kept bull calves and heifer calves. They would all get locked up on the wall here. Sometimes he would lock them up out in the mangers too, in front of their cows, in front of their mamas. And then, of course, once they would get off the bottle, they would slowly move them in here. And then, obviously, these guys can go outside, so that's why we still have cattle in here, because these guys have the freedom to go outside and get air, whereas the chained up ones didn't, and they suffered pretty hard to get through. If they made it over to here, they're golden for the rest of their life. So this is a building that Grandpa built in the 70s, and insulated and heated is what it used to be. Heated heater used to sit right there, but it was a good concept, but it just didn't work. He has a fan over here, and he had basically an open on the top there, and then the air would come down. And then the concept was that fan is supposed to pull the air through the building, but it's just too small. And the building just didn't seal up enough to be able to do that. So, but this is the old calf barn. So these guys are weaning age. We actually just put this group in here yesterday. Weaned off 4 of them. Dehorned, banded, and weaned off 4 of them. So these guys will be next to get weaned off. Back to talking to the hay mow. We'll climb up here real quick once. And you can see this is our hay mow. It's kind of a mess. That ain't too bad because the barn was fully cleaned out. Oh, 2 or 3 years ago, because me and Dad put a new floor up here. So over here, I'm finally getting the layout figured out the way I want it. Right here I got corn fodder that was chopped up with crop choppers. And over here I got bean fodder. This is the perfect way to do it because right here that there is a chute for the calf barn. The calf barn gets corn fodder because it does better. Jesus, there's a cat climbing up. Scared the crap out of me. The calf barn gets the corn fodder because they consume it a lot better than the barn does. Down in the barn, I like bean fodder because it soaks up a lot more and it keeps the smell down dramatically. You don't have wet pens and everything else. So there's your bean fodder. There's your main chute for the barn. It's actually the only chute now since they closed, put new floor up here. And then you got your corn fodder. Yeah. Alright, so it is Wednesday, May 24th again, and this is try 3 of trying to make this video because I've had people calling me. So, third time's the charm, right? So you can see, guess what I gotta do again? Another call! Well, this is a rare occurrence, especially in May. But we're chopping hay here. I'll be chopping hay Sunday more than likely. It's Thursday. I think it's the 15th today. But I tried making a video on this and the 56 in there yesterday, but I kept getting so many phone calls I just couldn't. But I went through this yesterday, put new chains on. Where did I put new chain? I put a new chain there. No, down there. And up front here, the chain, that chain right there that drives your head. So yeah, we should be all lubed up and ready to go. I just got done changing oil on the tractor, so that should be good for a while. But yeah, I'll go inside here. And I had to de-winterize or unwinterize, summarize the 1256 here, which is taking all the plexiglass and opening the doors and windows up. So we're good. Shut our PTO off. Make sure I got my, yep, get my hydraulics hooked up the right way. That's good. Alright, a good deal there. Yes, I know, that's what happens when they sit in the shed. Oh. Alrighty then this chopper and tractor should theoretically be ready to go. Dad might want to sharpen the blades. I think we'll be fine. I guess we'll see what happens. But funny story is, this 890 here is one of 3 that Grandpa used to have when he was still farming. We got rid of the other 2 because we just didn't need them. We only needed 1 chopper. We actually had 4 choppers. We had 3 890s, which are these, and then 1 892, which we sold last year. Really, the only difference I found with the 892 is it was wore out and they had an extended ton on it. I mean, it was wore out because Grandpa drug it out of a graveyard, but this particular chopper my great-grandfather bought new, which is the only reason it's still here. But yeah, spout's a little seized up there, but I shoved some oil down in the neck there, so hopefully that'll help a little bit. Probably not, but you know, it's the thought that counts. So we're gonna park her up in the yard and we're gonna call her good to go. I'm not gonna worry about hooking up any electronic crap because, well, I honestly dug this chopper off for the first time last fall because I sold the 892, thank God. But I don't want to deal with the electrical crap because that's gonna be a nightmare. Nothing's gonna want to work. One, I don't have the right box wired up in there. That box is for the 892. The box for this chopper is over on that shelf. And that one's hardwired in there, and I'm not messing with it. And it just doesn't... Dad's got this box here for the 892 rigged up to that, and I'm not getting a plug and rigging that up just to chop maybe 5 loads. So, I'm not worried about it. We're just going to get that set as straight as possible and just leave it. It'll be fine for what we're doing. But yeah, Good old 1256 is running like a champ. That oil's from me attempting to change the oil, so yeah, I'm gonna go park her down by the yard and call her good.